my friends. This is Andy coming to you live from Ventura, California. Feeling good. Feeling so good. My oxygen has been reduced all the way to like a half or something like that. Was doing some exercises earlier, been up and around, and ready to rock and roll to share some news with you in just 1 second. It's just really crazy. As I've been talking about for the last several months, how life takes these turns and the things that come about when you're reading scripture or the daily devotional or books related to the teachings of God and that kind of stuff. And that's no different than even the YouTube videos I've been watching with some pastors around the United States talking about patriotism, and they just seem to now be jumping out, right? I know that algorithms pay attention to what it is I'm searching and looking for, that kind of stuff. I'm pretty wise to that kind of stuff. But it is amazing what is out there. We are not alone. Those of us that are all on here, the 73 million people or 76 million people that voted for President Trump. We are obviously not alone, right? There's a lot of us out here. The problem is that we tend to go back dormant once we have a defeat. I'm not normally, but it seems like recently in the last couple of decades that we just go, it'll be okay. We'll just get through this and not a big deal. That this cannot be allowed to happen again. We've got ourselves into a serious situation in this country. We have put ourselves in a serious situation in our local cities, in our counties, in our states. We cannot afford to go back to sleep. We cannot afford to allow ourselves to be lulled back into a place where we think these are just a bunch of nitwits that are harmless. They are not harmless. They are evil. We have an evil portion of our country, and I do not believe that it's a large portion of our country. There's a large number of people, and I've talked about this before, there's a large number of people who just simply hated Donald Trump and they wanted to not vote for him. They don't know what they do. What is it that they know not of what they do, I think is the wording. They don't, because they're stupid. We have a lot of stupid people. And I know, because I know that there's a number of people I could ask that I know that have been friends of mine over the years that have, for whatever reason, voted for Biden. And if I point blankly ask them, because a vote for Biden is a vote for late-term abortion. And if I were to sit there, do you agree that it is okay to kill a baby at the 9th month? Do you think it's okay? Would you do that? Is that okay with you, that you say, you know what, if the woman wants to kill that baby, it's almost ready to, the head's coming out, or the feet are coming out, whatever direction the thing's coming out. Is it okay still? Is it okay to kill it? I have to believe the people that I have had in my life would say no. The problem is that's what you voted for. And just one example, right? You voted for the destruction of our country through open borders. Open borders will simply destroy our country. Letting refugees from Syria, letting refugees from horrible war-torn countries, it doesn't mean that there's not people there that don't need our help. They do. That we are one of the most generous countries in the world. We have been giving help to every other country on the planet for, I would say, nearly our entire existence. So you can't sit here and tell me that because I want closed borders that I am a baby killer, or that I hate population, that I hate people. The lie that Donald Trump put children in cages is an absurd BS lie. That it wasn't even Donald Trump, it was President Obama who created the cages for the children. And it just continues on, right? They just will not let it up. I have friends right now that are that is the reason they voted for Biden. They're that stupid that they do not listen, they do not pay attention, they have not done the research themselves. Just days ago, I had a friend of mine still say, well, he's putting babies in cages. To this day, how dumb, how stupid, how moronic do you have to be to continue to believe that lie is true? Much like Donald Trump said that World War II veterans and veterans that fought in the war were fools. That you really believe that he said that. There's nobody on the planet around Donald Trump in particular that has supported that notion, number one. And we know Donald Trump. You say you know him because you say he's a traitor, he's a hateful person, he's a racist, he's all these things, but that's not who he is. When you go back and read his books, when you go back and look at other stuff, he may be a womanizer, he may have been all these other things, but definitely he's never hated the troops. never hated the troops. And so these are the things that we're fighting against. Moronic people and people truly that are trying to do whatever it is they can to gain power and to turn our country into a socialist country. Those are the only two factions: Marxist, socialism, communist country, right? You have you have those people, sorry, you have those people, and you have morons. And we kind of have to battle both. I don't know how we're going to get through the morons. They will have to see that, the first thing that Biden says is that no more America first. Would that not be the worst statement for a new incoming president to say? And he said it, that no more America first. Somehow being first is bad for America. When again, every country wants us to be first. Every country needs us. Even our enemies need us from time to time when there's a major earthquake or when there's a major disaster or when there's something going on, some other pandemic that's going on. Every country needs the United States of America. The United States of America is the glue that holds the world together, whether you like it or not. And I don't care whether you like it or not. And that's why we need to do this thing. Although a small voice that I am, I think it's an important voice. And I think that based on even I have new names that come up every so often on my chat roll here, and hundreds of more people that watch on a regular basis. So it is growing in spite of YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and Twitch throttling my video from the beginning. I used to have 12,000 viewers when I first started the show. I'm down to now hundreds of viewers. Have I gotten worse? I don't know. Do people not like what I'm talking about? I don't know. I do know that I have people all the time saying, I used to get notifications that you were coming on, that they're no longer coming on. I go onto Twitter and see my YouTube videos, and they are my videos, my live broadcasts on Periscope, and now they have a gray thing over them that this is harmful information. And so it's all happening to me too. I'm a lower scale, but that just makes me want to be stronger. That just makes me want to do more. And that makes me want to create programs that I hope that you're going to agree that this program that I'm going to be introducing here right now, although the beginning stages of this program, just a reminder, not everybody's been watching every day, is that I've been praying a lot and thinking a lot, and I've had a lot of time to spend in the hospital thinking about this. What is the next stage for the Anthony Falco Show? What is the next stage for my voice that I've created using live broadcasting? What is going to be next? What is most important in our world? And I think I've started something. I got 3 pillars that it's going to be based off of. And then the program is a little bit of a project that's going to be morphing into a more detailed, solid program of reaching out and bringing information to those people that need it, helping people that are lost and confused about what it is they're supposed to believe because they got caught up in the hatred of what they've been trained by the media, but what they've been trained by social media, to think about conservatives, to think about President Trump's policies, to think about the Christian church and their communities, that they've been trained to think that we are evil. They've been trained to think that we are racist. They've been trained to think that we don't care about birth children, right? We just don't want children being killed, but we don't care what happens to them after the birth. These are all lies that you've been told over the years. And so we need to, I'm not talking about re-education. I'm talking about education about the truth about the United States of America and what it means to be a patriot, what it means to be conservative and Christian, God-fearing people, that we all can still live amongst Muslims and Jehovah's Witness and Dianetics. I forget. I used to work for the people. Now I can't remember the name. What's the name of that group? Scientology. The Scientology. Whatever that is, right? We just live in harmony. Understand that our country is based on Christian beliefs. And the more I research, the more that I watch documentaries I've been watching today, the more that has become clear that still simply needs to be the basis for our country. And within that basis, we can all live together. We can simply all live together. Because why? Because love is the most important thing. Watching a movie right now about Apostle Paul, and it keeps coming up over and over again about love. And that, and I love my children, but I will still discipline them. I love my children, but they still may get a spanking. I love my children, but I still will deny them things. It doesn't mean that because you love something or love, that love is simply love in the world, that we're not going to go to war, because we fight for what we love. We love our country, right? I'll fight for my family because I love my family. And love is simply the basis for what we do that for, the love of God being number one. All right. So I hope all that made sense. And so with that in mind, I'm trying to create a project that will allow me to have a voice on my live streaming, maybe have pop-up booths from time to time where we're there speaking to people, handing out flyers and talking about stuff, whether it's at a church or a street fair or that kind of stuff, whether it's interviewing candidates that are coming up for political elections, and supporting those people that have already been elected. How is it that we can help a congressman, a senator in our area, a representative of a city or state, or city council member or school board member? What is it that we can do as an organization to help them further their message and to get more support behind a program that will be beneficial to our community? There's nothing wrong with being charitable within our community, but we are not for giving everything away for free either. And so there always needs to be the support for our community. And I think an organization that helps spread the word and how we can support our community is important. One last thing, and this is the one last thing that somehow it may make it on a pillar. I wasn't sure how to put it on there, but law and order is obviously 21 years as a law enforcement officer, training with law enforcement officers for over almost 40 years now, not almost 40 years, almost 35 years, something like that now. I obviously have a deep, deep root in law enforcement and law and order. I got news yesterday or today that LAPD is completely dismantling their sex investigators unit. And that is shocking. I was a sex crimes detective for a few years over at Anaheim Police Department. We had 4 investigators in our unit, 4 investigators at Anaheim Police Department, not the size of Los Angeles, of Anaheim. A very large city, but not as obviously as big as Los Angeles. 4 investigators in our unit alone. Each one of us had more than 500 cases a year that we were working at a time. Each one of us had 500 cases that we were working at a time. You know how hard it is for one investigator to work 500 sex crimes and bring them to a resolution, to collect evidence, to interview witnesses, to interview suspects, to interview the victim, to process the evidence, to put together a package to present to the district attorney's office to potentially prosecute somebody. And then you have to also weed out those that are false allegations. Those take actually more time to investigate, the false allegations against somebody of sexual assault. And there were 4 of us with 500 cases a year, unable to keep up with what's going on in Anaheim, Orange County, not Los Angeles. They're dismantling the sex crimes unit in Los Angeles. You know the impact on the freedom the sexual predators will have in Los Angeles. That who's watching, who's prosecuting? Nothing's going to happen. They're going to be released. They're not going to be investigated. Victims are going to stop reporting, and more victims will go down as victims at the hands of sexual predators. We're talking everything from child abuse, child sexual related cases, sex trafficking, rape. It just goes on and on. The most horrific time in my time in law enforcement in those 21 years was when I was in the sex crimes unit. The most horrific time. The pictures that I would see on computers, the images that I would see of children mutilated by their victims, listening to a 6-year-old describe how she was penetrated by the janitor at the church, digitally and penally, both anally and vaginally. Hearing a 6-year-old tell us the story where the guy finished on her. And that is just one of the 500 cases a year that I got. This is the work of the devil, and I don't talk about the devil very much. It kind of makes me uncomfortable talking about the devil, but there's no other word for it. The fact that you have leadership in Los Angeles, in California, in the United States of America, that thinks it's okay to get rid of the sex crimes detail at Los Angeles Police Department is horrific. It is the work of the devil, because the only people that are going to be roaming the streets of Los Angeles with full freedom. Why that unit? Not the burglary unit, not the auto theft unit, the sex crimes unit. The people of Los Angeles allowed this to happen. You allowed this to happen. You voted for these morons. You voted for the city council members. You voted for the district attorney. You voted for these people. You're allowing the chief of police to be there and to not fight against it. What's this fight? What has he done? It's, that's what they want. We're just going to take millions of dollars away from the president. We're just going to close it down. You are. I'm going to get all crazy mad. I'm trying to hold it all together because I'm going to start coughing. But this is really just spectacular times. And that's why we, the people, here at whatever level that I'm at, and level you're that we need to bring this stuff together. Let me look at a couple things here really quick. Hey, Mario, nice to see you. You heard that trash earlier about most secure election ever. Your heart? Maybe it hurt. You heard the trash earlier about most. Yeah, no, it's BS. You're back. No, I'm not back home. I'm actually still in quarantine. I'm in quarantine until tomorrow. Dixie, thanks though. Hey, Melly, nice to see you. Maybe we'll see you at church on Sunday. Hey, Deborah, nice to see you. Let's go real first if we get that. That's not. Oh, all right. Yeah, that's so funny. Put the oxygen as the world first. Oh, you already said that. Hey, Jim Lewis, nice to see you. I miss seeing you on the mastermind calls. I have Rumble. I'm on Rumble, and I'm on Periscope, and I'm on MeWe, and I'm on these. It's not easy to get on there and do. It's hard enough just to be on Facebook and YouTube. Yeah, love that book stat shelf. Where'd you get it? What do you mean where'd I get it? You're crazy. Hey, Sandy, nice to see you. High school together. All right, very good. All right, so let's get to this news. All right, so here I come and telling you what the project name was. Now I went through a few because those are part of the sex crimes and Pizzagate. Yeah, it's evil. We know the Clintons, and we know the Soros, and all the people that. What the funny thing is, it's not funny. The interesting thing is that, of course, this has always been the way, though, right? They talk about how they are for the people, right? The ones who talk about how they're for the people, and they talk about the racist Republicans and the horrific, and they're horrible to children. The people saying that are the ones that are releasing sex crimes convicts back out into the street. They're the ones who are releasing criminals back into the street. They're the ones who want open borders where people can come across from other countries. Criminals can come across the border, and we can't deport them. The people that say they care about our country and our children and our families are the ones that are causing all this chaos and the demons that come across the border freely and with no options to get rid of them, and barring us from getting rid of them. So you have to be careful about the Parler name. It's actually ER, not OR. Parler. If you go to PALOR, it tends to send you somewhere else. So be careful about where you're going. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up a graphic here. I wrote around a couple, iterations of things. And I thought, what is the most important? What is the name of the project that I can get it where it's very clear of my message and what it is that I'm hoping to do with my voice moving forward. And I go all the way back to the start of our country, where the Patriots and the Minutemen and the Revolutionary War and all the men that wrote our Constitution and signed it, their conviction and how much God was put into the Constitution, and the words of much of our basis for who we are as a country. And taking that group of people and seeing their strength, their ability to fight for what was right, to live and die for God, to live and die for country, to live and die for their family, to put their name on something, knowing that if it went wrong, that they would probably be the first to be executed. That you had a group of men in maybe a church one day, pastoring a church about, this country, needs to stay strong. We need to move forward. We need to stick together. And then from that church, a story I heard today is that in the middle of service, they said, the pastor takes off his robe and he's got his uniform on. And they said, who's with me? And 300 men go marching out of the church to go fight and begin a brigade that was very instrumental in the winning of the Revolutionary War. And what that mentality, those men and women, because they had women that supported them during that period of time, is what I would love to start on the West Coast and meet the East Coast. So you have the East Coast history. I'm not sure how many patriots we have in the East Coast. I'm sure there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions, because again, over 70 million people voted for President Trump. We've had more people vote for a Republican in this country in this last election than ever in our history. More Republicans have voted for this president, more conservatives voted for this president for any other man than any other man in our history in our country. And so we know that we are spread across this country, but what can I do to take that mentality, that history of the men and women that created our country, and start it over here on the West Coast? And it's going to flash for maybe only 10 seconds, but let me just say, so the name of the new program, let me get rid of the project that I'm going to be starting is called Orange County Patriot Project. The Orange County Patriot Project. I hope you like that. I worked hours on for my graphic. I like the Patriots. I like the T's in the Patriot because they look like the sign of the cross, and it looks very good. So the project I'm going to be starting is the Orange County Patriot Project, and how it is that we create patriots of people, individuals, families, congregations, groups of people, groups of men, men's Bible studies, and how is it that we can now grow within the Orange County Patriot Program to spread the word that we need to turn our county, Orange County first, California, and the United States of America back into a patriot style country, that we love our country, that we love our history, that we love our Constitution, that we have no desire to become socialists. We have no desire to go communist or Marxist. None of that will happen. We're going to bring back law and order, and we're going to protect our families. And so that we can just simply, my son or daughters can simply ride their bike to 7-Eleven and get an ice cream. And I don't have to worry about them, and bring that all back. So one more time, it's going to be called the Orange County Patriot Project. And is, again, beginning stages, not complete yet, not completely vetted out as to how this all is going to work, but this is the name of the working project. And it is going to be based on these three pillars: God, country, and family. God, country, and family are the pillars for the Orange County Patriot Project. And again, if I can fit law enforcement in there or law and order in there, I think it needs to be in there somewhere. I'm just not quite sure how to get that in there yet, but this is what I've come up with so far. And I will be talking about some things. I'm obviously going to need to begin raising some cash to develop a studio and some other stuff that I have plans for doing some other stuff, and printing for some documentation and things like that. And so that will all be coming in the near future. But that's what I have planned. Again, I've been thinking about this for several months. 6 months ago, when I first started these broadcasts on political talk, and the George Floyd incident was the very first one that I did a show like this, and it just really began to morph into something much bigger and different than I'd ever done before. And so it's all culminated into this moment of time that this is what's needed now. This is what's needed now. And my children are still young enough that I'm totally involved, and I'm totally invested in making sure we bring a sense of patriotism back to Orange County. Now, I got the URL for Orange County Patriot Program, but I also got the one for California Patriot Program, and I got the other one for the United States of America Patriot Program. And so it has room for growth. And just in case it does catch on and it begins to grow, that we can expand it to not only to California, but into the rest of the United States and beyond. And so I obviously would love some support as I move forward. I will give you more information as I have more information and begin to grow it out just a little bit. And so I hope that looks cool. I hope that you guys have some interest in it. And I think it would be, I think it's going to be a fun project. Again, there's a lot of other stuff that's happening in the background that you don't know of yet that I'll be announcing over the next couple of weeks. But I just wanted to start with just the basis and the 3 pillars that we'll be growing this project off of. And I think it's a really, really good start to really do something in our community. I got some good news. I told you my 3 friends, well, 2 of them are friends of mine. The third one, I don't know that well. I met her. 1, conservatives on the school board for the Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District. And then we have Kim Young, right? Kim Young won Chino Hills Congresswoman. She won, conservative woman. And then we have a woman in Huntington Beach, Steele, I think her name is. Oh no, what's her name? Hold on, let me look really quick. I think I have it on my search still. Let me check this out. So we have some really cool things happening. Shoot, what's her name? Michelle Steele. Michelle Steele won her Congress election there in Huntington Beach. And so that's really good news. Really good news. That's 5 conservatives just in my area who got voted in. It is really good news. And there may be more. I saw a list on something I was watching on the YouTubes, and it looks like something like 20 women across the United States have won conservative congressional positions in the House. And so that is awesome. That is so amazing. And I'm so happy where we didn't, whatever's happening with the presidential election, we all know that's BS. We all know you got this, the software program. The software program's created in Canada. It's processing the computerized gadgets and gizmos in Venezuela. And the votes for the United States of America are being counted in Barcelona, Spain. Not one aspect of the software that's being used to decide our president of the United States is being done in the United States. Does that, you don't find that odd? They can't, there's paper jams. And when there's a paper jam, they got to take the seal that shows that this thing has been, certified as safe and secure. But when there's a paper jam, you have to break the seal, which then opens it up to fraud. And this was happening before. This was happening when mail-in ballots were first coming in, that they had to break the seal. And then all of a sudden we got 100,000 ballots that are all for Biden. And they're only voting for Biden. They're not voting for any of the Congress people, the senators, any of the propositions. None of that stuff's getting voted. And you go, oh, this is perfectly safe. I think it was Mario that said, oh, it's perfectly safe. It's one of the safest elections ever. We have software that's not even being run in the United States of America that is being completely sabotaged by the janitor in Pennsylvania because they don't like the president of the United States. You almost have to laugh because of the stupidity of the media and the liberals thinking, oh, it's okay, it's just a couple. It's like 2 votes. No, you have dead people voting in Michigan. You have dead people voting in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania. You have dead people voting in Arizona. It's a culmination. If you were just use a little bit of luck. All right, it's only 500 dead people in Arizona. Well, it's 500 dead people. It's also the software that's added 100,000 people. It's also the box of ballots that were dropped off at 3 o'clock in the morning because they said supposedly there's this leak this water leak. So you have to stop all elections in this county because there's a water leak. And then during that water leak, it just so happens that a shipload of mail-in ballots, all for Biden, happened to be dropped off at that moment so that nobody could process it properly. And they just said, let's just push it in there and then add them to the thing. Like when you begin to add all these little things, the problem is the courts are going to say, well, and this is the problem with lawsuits and cases, is they look at them as individual cases. Did the 300 votes that went for Biden that seemed to be falsely, created or entered, we'll take those out. And so that's not enough to call it. See, there's the problem: is you have a bunch of mini investigations, a bunch of mini lawsuits that, on individual basis, seem very minute. But you begin adding them up, and it gets into the hundreds of thousands of votes. It also changes the false polls. When somebody sees a poll that their candidate's losing, people tend to like, am I going to leave my house and possibly go get COVID-19 when it clearly says that President Trump is 12 points behind? There's many stupid people. Again, we have many stupid people. I've already pointed that out. That they believe the polls, number one, and that their decision is based on what they believe or what they've been told by the media. We know that's a huge mistake. They've been lying to us for over 4.5 years. And so it's the culmination of all those things. And again, oh, look at my arm. I got a big, oops, there it is. Wow, that's pretty awesome. It's the culmination of all those things. And it defies logic. It defies common sense that even, let's just say that even you are a Democrat. Let's just say that. Let's say that you're one of the good Democrats. Are they? Is there? It might be. You're one of the good. Even just like a good Democrat, like would say, yeah, I want to make sure. It would be great to make sure that here in the United States of America, not a third world country, not even a second world country, the United States of America can hold an election. Somebody says yes or no, and then it goes to some place and it gets marked down as yes or no. It seems easy, doesn't it? Like that should be the standard. That the vote is real and the vote actually counts. The vote is real, thumbprint, license, right? Verification. And then there's a live human being that's attached to that vote, and they say yes. All right, we'll put that in the yes column. Good. Bye. See you later. Should be that simple, but obviously it's not. But it should be that simple. That you cannot think as a Democrat, well, it's okay that hundreds of thousands of dead people voted. Like, and they said, oh, it's okay. It's not. It happens all the time. Not a big deal. One last thing, and that is the fact that in the past, you have all these ballots where historically over the years, I'm going to go with the number 100,000 because it's just easier for me. You have 100,000 of them that are, that are questionable. And then when you look deep into them, you have a certain percentage that just really are not valid. They're people that scribbled something, or they were, trying to rush something in, and they were trying to cheat or whatever. And you have this percentage of whatever it is, 6%, 10%. I'm not sure what the percentage is, but that percent, whatever that percentage is consistent over the years that we've been holding votes. Now, suddenly, and again, I think this goes back to Mario's comment, is that suddenly this year, for whatever reason, they had all of those ballots that came in, those 100 ballots that look kind of questionable. Turns out they're all perfectly fine. Like suddenly people got smart overnight and knew how to all of a sudden, they're all good now. As long as it says Biden, it's all good. It's not a big deal. And people just got smarter. Our public service announcements work on teaching people how to color in the little square box. And so that's another one. And so these are the things that you got to begin to add up and just say, it's the culmination of everything. And the Democrats are the one thing they're not, and I hate saying this, is the Democrat leadership and the deep state and the evil humans that we have, the devils that we have in our midst, in our politics. The one thing is they're not stupid. They're smart they're evilly smart, and they know if they just got 100 there, 200 there, 300,000 there, 200 here, 10 here, 15,000 here, right? When you spread it out, and they know this is a brain surgery. They know they're not stupid. And they're bringing it all together. So I hope I haven't got too far off my message. And that is, we just got to stay at this. The problem is that we can let this go. Again, we have elections coming up in Georgia that are super important. We have, of course, midterm elections that are going to be coming up that we have to prepare for. And I need your help. And I know that it says Orange County, and I know a lot of you are watching from Florida and where else do I have people on the East Coast? I see people, other countries. I see people See, I see people. I see people, Idaho, and whatnot. And so I know, but it's got to start somewhere. And I would love your support, and whatever that looks like. Whatever that looks like. If it's sharing on my post, if it's donating some money when I do put up the place where you can donate some money to help get the project off the ground, and all that kind of stuff. And would love your support and love your help. I'm planning on some logos and some hats and all the stuff that goes along with it so that we can raise money, and then some documentation, hoping to bring some really good speakers on board, maybe connect with some of these Congress people that just got elected and the school board members that got elected and talk to them about what it is they need, and really begin to ramp up the voice of conservative America. And one more time, for those of you that missed it, this is the project. It's called the Orange County Patriot Project. I really am proud of that. I really like the way that looks. I may keep that. This was just going to be like a really quick throwaway thing just to kind of introduce the Orange County Patriot Project. And then again, the three pillars are God, country, family. God, country, family. In that order. You can't do anything without God holding everything together. My family cannot live in a God-fearing, God-loving country unless we have a country and a constitution. And then my family. That doesn't mean that I'm going to, as far as order and that kind of stuff, what you got to understand is that we have to first look at God. What does God say about what it is, how we move forward? What does God say about our country? What does God say about our laws and rules? What does God say about how we want to live as a community together with not only our Christian faith, but Catholics and like I said, the Scientologists and Mormons and all the other people. What is it that God says how we should live together as a community? Because we have to, right? We're not going to convert everybody to Christianity. That's impossible. But we do need to live together, and we need to have laws together. And we need to support one another in their differences, right? And so what does God say about that? And then we have to have a country within to do these things within, and a strong government. Again, law enforcement, law and order, clean streets, services, the ability of churches to give, right? Again, we don't want to give people stuff for free, but people do need our help. And there's really two different things. And so the churches are the ones that we do, not our government. Our government doesn't need to be giving EBT cards and free education and free crap to everybody. That's the way that you kill a country. That is the way you kill a community. People need to work. People need to take care of themselves. People need to band together and support one another. And the churches will take care of the charity. Right. And then of course, our family, our whatever it is that we do with God and country that creates good, strong family values is where I want to take this. Those are the three pillars that I want to make sure and focus on and not get too far off into the weeds with other stuff. All right, let me look at comments one more time before I get off here. I hope this all kind of came together for you, and you understand what it is that I'm looking for and what I'm planning on doing, and keeping this all together. All right, God first, family second, then country. Well, without a country, it's hard to keep a roof over the head of the family. And again, I think that's, hopefully I made that clear. It's not that, listen, I love my family, but without a good, strong country, what am I going to take my family? Where am I going to take them? To Venezuela? Am I going to take them to Argentina? Am I going to take them to Syria? Am I going to take them to Afghanistan? Where am I going to take my family? We need to have this country. God gave us this country. God gave us this country. God gave us the men that created this country. God gave us our Constitution. All right. And so the country, and I'm not arguing with you, Amy, we're not at all. How will God fix this? Through us. God has already fixed it. God has already fixed it. God's not going to fix it. It is up to us. And that is a really good question, Deborah. I'm going to ask you ask that question. And I'm glad I got presented that question. And I've not thought about this until you just said it. How is God going to fix this? God's not going to fix this. God's already fixed it. It's already been done. You understand? Jesus Christ has already done everything for us too. We have failed God. We have failed the teachings of Jesus Christ. We have sat back on our asses and allowed this to happen. We voted for the morons that are getting rid of the sex crimes detail at Los Angeles Police Department. Not me personally, but you know what I'm talking about. We failed ourselves. We failed God. God's already fixed it. And it's up to us to fix it, to what we've done. We've done this to ourselves. There's nobody else to blame. We can't blame. I blame God in almost my entire life for every bad thing that's happened in my life. For almost 58 years. I would say close to like 55 years. I blame God for every bad thing that's happened in my life. All the time. I blame God for the children that were murdered on my shift and had to respond to and do the things I needed. Right? I blame God for that. I blame God for all the sex crimes cases that I had involving child molesters. God did not do that. Man did. We allow it to happen. It is our fault, and it is up to us to change it. And back to just Amy really quick one more time, is that's why I put the country second, is that we need our country for our children, for our family. If we don't save our country, it's going to be a sad place for us to be. Our country has to come next now. We put our country like 5th, 10th, 20th. We haven't cared about our country like we should. We haven't taken care of our country like we should. We haven't protected our country like we should. We sent all of our warriors to other countries to fight their wars. We've sent our warriors to be the police of other countries. We spent millions of dollars in other countries building their infrastructure while we did shit to our country here. Did nothing worthwhile. And it's because of the people we voted for. We've allowed them to happen. We allowed Barack Obama and Biden to destroy our country, to steal our money. Biden making millions and millions of dollars off of China, Iraq, the Ukraine for his brothers and his son. And then he got a piece of it. We allowed that to happen. That is not a lie. That is the truth. And we allowed it to happen. And they're going to continue to allow it to happen. They're just trying to vote him. They're trying to make him president of the United States. That's how bad this is. If you don't think that that's bad, then I don't know what to tell you. We just voted, a large number of people supposedly just voted for a man that we know for a fact was able to get billions of dollars given to his crackhead son, not only in China, but in the Ukraine and in Russia. Billions of dollars. His two brothers make millions of dollars. One in Iraq and one in Costa Rica, I think it is. Something like that, where some deals that they got in there going on. I don't know, some other countries. Because who he is. None of them know what they're doing. None of them have any real history of success of doing anything that they've been paid millions and millions of dollars for. And now we also know that he gets a percentage of it. And a large number of people voted for him. That's just one. That's just one thing that I can tell you about Biden. Right? That's just one, or three, I guess, in actuality. But you have, his plagiarism. You have his hair sniffing. You have all the other poor decisions he made, all the other bad votes that he's made, both for and against things. He voted for stuff he should have voted against. He voted against things he should have voted for. He is a moron and has always been a dummy, and everybody thinks he's a dummy in politics. And that's the person that they're trying to put in the presidency of the United States. And it's because we allowed it to happen. Do you not understand that? We allowed it to happen. We have nobody else to blame but us. Because we sat on our asses and did nothing about it as conservative Christians in the United States of America. We've done nothing about it because we're too nice, because we're the silent majority, because we just thought it would be okay. It's not okay, and it's not. It's very close to being too late, and we need to wake our asses up. And again, Amy, I'm not picking on you. I'm just going. That's why we had to put this country second. That's why we have to put this country second. I'm not telling you that I'm going to fight first over my country, over my children. I will kill anybody that touches my children. I will go to jail for anybody that puts a hand on my child. They will die. And I will go to jail or I will be killed. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I'll do. So I don't want you to get me wrong. But we got to save our country. If we don't save our country, we are effed. Ooh, I almost said the word. We are effed if we don't save our country. It is almost too late. And hopefully I'm making myself clear. All right, sorry. I'm not going to pick on you anymore. I'm not morons, but outnumber us. No, they don't. The morons do not outnumber us. I don't believe that. I don't believe. I think we have evil people. Again, I think we're split between in the Democratic Party, liberal, the BLM, all those idiots, communist Marxists. We have a large number of them, right? Evil Marxist communist people. But what they've been able to do is manipulate. And I've read those books to you. And I know that a lot of you have been around from the very beginning since I've been doing this. I've been reading you the book, the Common Sense, Communism, and Color, Communism, and Common Sense. And this has been going on for years. This isn't something new. That book was written back in 1958, right? Published in 58. He wrote it back in the late 40s. And everything that is in that book is what they're doing now. So this isn't new. It's not like we didn't know it was coming. It's not like we didn't have their playbook and could see what was happening, because they've tried it before and they've done it in other countries. We know exactly what it is they're doing. And so, Don, I understand what you're trying to say there, but you have a very strong history of an organization that's been trying to corrupt people in this world for decades. For a very, very long time, over 100 years probably, in relationship to socialism and communism, Marxism. That this has been going on for a very long time. And this indoctrination, this teaching, and it's got into our universities and our colleges, and even in our elementary schools and junior highs and high schools, that this is a teaching. This is a brainwashing, a teaching of these principles. So it's not simply that they're morons, but they have been taught that that is the right way to go, that making money is evil, that our country is evil, that our country is racist. And I'm no longer talking about Donald Trump, right? They're using him as the statue of evilness. But these people believe our country is evil. They believe our country is racist. They believe that capitalism is the root of all evil that's going on in our country, when in fact it's the thing that makes us who we are, makes us successful. And this has been going on for decades. And so, yes, there's a whole shitload of morons in our country. Yes, absolutely. But it's not, I'm going to give them a little bit of an excuse. It's not their fault. They are just moldable to believe what they've been told. And we have the media supporting it. And that's why I talk about it. Isn't it amazing? And this is where these are some of the things that give me strength. And I know this, I'm already on 48 minutes. I thought this was going to be a 30-minute show. And that, when you really look at it this way, is that you have a man named Donald Trump, who was president, fantastic, effective, some of the greatest policies that we've ever had in our country, regardless of what you think. That you have media, social media, the entire Democratic Party. There's not one sliver, not one Democrat in our politics, locally, countywide, statewide, or federally, that does not hate Donald Trump. So you have an entire party. You even have portions of his own party who don't like him. All right. So you have a man with the social media, the media, a political party, the Democratic Party, and even portions of the Republican Party that hate his guts. And yet he got more votes than any other Republican candidate for presidency of the United States in our history. Do you understand? We're not lost. And I don't think we're outnumbered. We've just been complacent. We've been lazy. And we think, well, God's going to sort it out. It'll be okay. No, God did his job. Jesus Christ did his job. We, the people, we have let him down. We have let our country down. So, Don, I hear you. I don't think we're outnumbered. I really don't think we're outnumbered. I've laid in bed and I thought and I've written and I've listened and I just analyzed and said, no. I know I'm not alone. Again, 70 some odd million people voted for Donald Trump. That's a hell of a lot of people. And again, it's higher than it's ever happened in our country. So I hope I'm making sense. It's just we need to mobilize. We need to speak up. We can't give up. We can't lay back down. We can't lay our arms back down. right? We got to hold them strong, keep our weapons clean, be ready to go, talk, communicate, vote, support, help in any means possible candidates that are going to bring our country back and bring our country back to where it was before, wherever that may be. We've had tons of ups and downs. And I know I said that was one last thing, but I just want to look at the Jews really quick. You got the Jews, right? Have the Jews ever been down and out? Have they ever had like a bad, 40 years? They've been persecuted, they've been murdered, they've been gassed, they've been all this kind of stuff. And yet they're still here. They still have they have Israel. They thought Israel was gone some years ago, right? They thought we have no country. We are a people with no country. And now they have a country. We moved our embassy back into Jerusalem. And if anybody has an excuse to lay down and just give up, it's the Jews. And if they're not going to give up, I'm not going to give up my country. And they've been destroyed. Millions of them have been destroyed and exterminated, and yet they got Israel and they got us as friends. I don't know if that's good or not, but they got friends. They got us as friends. And so I just go, you know what? They didn't lay down. They didn't give up. They're still here. They're still fighting. They still own lots of stuff. I mean, they got a lot of good friends that are Jews. I have some crazy Jews that voted for Biden, which is really shocking to me. All right. Have I gone on too far? I think I've gone too far. Take the fight to them, like in the movie The Patriot. Yes. Oh, I love that movie. I'm not blaming God. I just don't understand how we can stop evil. Yeah, you can be in total darkness, and one lit match brings light. You, and millions of others voted, and yet look. Now, listen, Deborah. I understand, Deborah. I'm an optimist. I always have been. I used to get upset with people in my businesses that I run that, the sky is falling. I'd come in the office. Oh my God, this is happening in this contract. And then people were screaming. I go, are you okay? Are you okay? Is the fact that we lost the contract, are you going to die? Right? Did an angel fall out of the sky? I mean, I'm not quite sure what the sky is falling. All right. Things are bad. I'm not telling you that things are good. But it doesn't mean that we just how's this going to, how's this going to work itself out? How is somebody else going to do it? How is God going to do it? Nobody else is going to do this. Nobody else is going to do this but us. Me, you, we vote. That's what we do. God has done. I don't know how to explain this anymore. This is a hard concept for me too. So I'm not trying to get on your case, Deborah, at all. This is really hard. It was really hard. It just hit me. Just recently. I wish I would have discovered this before. God has done everything. Jesus Christ has done everything for us. It's all been done. All this has been done. This is up to us. He is not going to fix this. I know that seems strange. It seems strange coming from me. Like we pray to God, God, please take away my COVID-19. God, please take away my cancer. God, please bring me some money. God, bring me a brand new car. Whatever that is, right? We want God to answer our prayers and to save us from something that we have probably created. We made a bad decision. We made the wrong choices. We didn't stay in the Word. Staying in the Word is following the principles of the Bible. I'm pointing to a devotional, but staying in the words of the Bible. What I've learned is almost everything that we need to know on how to live our life is in the Bible, if not everything that we need to know is in the Bible. And if we just simply followed it, things would be actually pretty good. The problem is we don't follow it. Staying strong in the Word, being strong in your conviction, right? I went through my 4 C's yesterday, and I already took them off the screen, so I put it back up. And being committed, right? We're not committed. We lose our commitment. When we lose our commitment, we lose focus and things begin to happen. Things begin to fall apart around us. So it is really us. And I understand, Deborah, and anybody else that says that, God, we need God to fix it. God's not going to fix this. And I hope that makes sense. It makes sense to me. And I may be completely wrong. Some pastor may be watching this going, nah, you're wrong. God is supposed to fix this. And I go, I don't know. I don't think he is. I think God already did everything. What I'm learning now is Jesus Christ has done everything for us. And now it's up to us to follow his word and to make these changes. It will not happen without us. Nothing will happen without us. We have to fix this. We have to become more vocal. We have to become more active. We have to be more committed. We have to be ready to fight when it's time to fight. And I don't necessarily mean physically fight. I mean fight out loud with our voice and our votes and everything else that we have. And say, no, you are not going to dismantle and defund the police department. No, that is not happening in my city. I'm not allowing the sex crimes detail at Brea Police Department to become dismantled in my city. No, I'm not going to allow it. What does that look like? I don't know. But I'm going to fight. I'll go to the city council meetings. I will vote people out. I will stand in front of the city, city council chambers with a sign. Whatever that looks like is what it is we need to do. That is what it looks like. The fight. It doesn't mean I'm going to go burn down City Hall. It means that we're going to fight for not dismantling. They need to know that we will not allow our police department to be dismantled and defunded. We are not going to allow that to happen. The problem in Portland is that they allowed it to happen. How many people live in Portland that hunkered down in their homes and did nothing about Chaz and Chop? They did nothing. Nobody fought. You had a few individuals that got shot. They got shot and killed. God bless them. You know what? They stood up and fought. Right? You had a Christian man with a Christian hat, a cross on his hat, and he went out there and somebody shot him in the head. God bless him. He didn't hunker down and hide and put his little blankie and his thumb in his mouth and say, oh, woe is me. No, he got killed. Oh, yeah, you don't expect us to go out there and get killed. No, but I expect you to do something. There's no way around this. There's no other solution. There's no other. Your solution is lay down and die or stand up and fight. It's pretty easy. I try to keep things simple. Lay down and die, stand up and fight. And we're going to fight for our country. I'm going to fight for my country. I would love for you to come alongside me. I need other warriors. I need other commandos with me. We need to do this. Take the fight to the up. Yeah, sorry. Come on, man. The house always gets the big. Huh? I'm not sure what that means. Yes, Carl. Absolutely. Carl, I'm with you. I know that you're with me. I feel it, my brother. Much of the people vote for the free stuff, the system is doomed. Oh, absolutely. Oh, God. Oh, my gosh. I'm not going to tell you another story, but geez. Thank you, Diana. I appreciate that. I love that I make sense. I don't know where that came from. Things are just coming out of my brain here. They hate him because they can't control him. Absolutely, they hate him because they can't control him. Yes, absolutely. You said vote. We did. Deborah, I know. Voting is just one thing, and I hope I made that clear. And I know this is message probably a few minutes old now. We did. You said stand up. We did. More people than ever voted for a Republican. Yes, but I get it. Thanks for the answer. You're welcome. You're absolutely welcome. Yeah, but again, remember what I said. We have a whole bunch of people that are. We have the media. We're fighting more than just the vote. We're fighting more than just the vote. We're fighting, social media. It's okay. We just got to move forward. We're going to fight against them. We got all these conservative platforms that are popping up. You got the numbers that are dwindling on Facebook, numbers dwindling on YouTube. Whether that'll change those platforms from doing what they're doing, I doubt. But the numbers are going to be shifting. We're going to be moving into other platforms so that the conservatives can communicate better without being blocked. You'll see a shift. Right now, there's a little bit of panic. Everybody's like, what are we going to do in this? Listen, we know that there's evolution of some of these things that need to happen, but unfortunately, a little bit of it needs time to build and to gain momentum. And that's why you start something like the Orange County Patriot Project, where this is the beginning stages of a project that will begin to now feed into conservative places of speech and movements and it's like filling a glass of water slowly, right? You're just filling it up with the different things. It begins to overflow, and you get other glass, you get other people joining you, and things begin to grow. It just had, this election is still being contested, right? We still have a long ways to go. We have 4 years possibly of an idiot, or we have 4 years of a patriot. One of those things are going to happen. Both is not going to be good. I'm going to tell you right now. If the patriot gets in, Donald Trump, it's going to be chaos. It may be worse. It may be worse if President Trump gets back into office, or finishes off another 4 years. It may be worse. All right, so just be ready for that too. There's no way in this world that I'm going to tell you that if Donald Trump ends up winning this election, is that everything's going to be great. No, it's going to be worse. It's going to be worse, and so we have to be prepared for that too. All right. And then if Biden gets in, it's going to be bad. And we have to deal with everything that's going on that's being bad with that too. All right. So Deborah, I really love that you're on, and I hope that you'll continue to come, because those are really good questions. And that's a faction. You have the ideas and thoughts and the worries of, I'm sure, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions of people, that, well, we did everything we were supposed to do, and yet here we are still screwed. Yes, but the problem is that some people will go, nah, I got screwed, and so I'm not going to do anything now. See, it wasn't worth it. See, we tried and it didn't work. Like, that attitude definitely is not going to help us. Not that you have that attitude. Just having that attitude, if people have it, is definitely not going to help. This is just like, oh, all right. Now you want to play? That's kind of how this is the way that I've lived my entire life. Oh, okay. You want to punch me in the face? All right, just wait. Let's see what's next. I played hockey for years, and don't worry. I'll take care of that punch in the face that you gave me a little bit later on. You won't see it coming, and it'll be 10 times as bad as the punch that I took. You're welcome, Deborah. Thank you for being on. I really do appreciate you very much. Thank God, Dixie. Glad that you're standing with us. Good. And there will be a huge purge of the swamp. Oh, it's going to be good. All right, this is going to be fun, my guys. It's going to be fun, my friends. I love you guys. I didn't talk about sponsors or anything like that. Again, one last time. This is going to be the Orange County Patriot Project. I just like showing the graphic because it looks really cool. Orange County Patriot Project. It is going to be building. It's just beginning. Don't ask me too many questions yet, but I know that it's going to be good, that we're going to rock it. And the principles that we're going to be basing it on is God, country, family. God, country, family. I know there's a little controversy as where I put country, but listen, I got it covered. All right, my friends. I love you very much and appreciate your time and effort, and all of you that watch all the time and all the comments. Please share this out now. I think this is a good video to share out if you possibly can with people that you think may be interested in participating and being involved. What that participation looks like right now mostly is getting the word out and joining. Of course, I hate saying this, but there's probably going to be a Facebook group. There's probably going to be a Rumble group. I don't know. But this just allow me some time to develop all the stuff that's going to be back there. There's going to be a website where you can join and give me your name and email address and donate if you want. That all will be coming up within the next few days. I should have that done within the next few days. And let's just get started and supporting some of these great we have some great candidates here in the Orange County, Chino Hills, Los Angeles area that have won in the Congress, conservative, Christian, good people. And so I think that's my first outreach is to them to see how we can support them. I think is the best place to start because they're just getting in it. They're fresh, they're hungry, they're ready to go. And having the support of something like the Orange County Patriot Project may be something that they're very much interested in, which will, again, allow us to get more people interested and paying attention to what it is we're doing. All right, my friends, I love you. God bless. Take care. Have a great night. Till there. Bye.